Hello everybody, my name is Harry Warwick and I want to introduce you to SEO that works. What this is the same roadmap or the same flow that I use with all of my customers to help them properly do the SEO work on their website. But given all the challenges of 2020, I decided I wanted to make this content available for free here on YouTube and other platforms. So anyone that wants to rank their website on page 1 of Google can start doing some of the things that you need to do and improve your overall results. So here we have just a basic PowerPoint presentation that I've put together to explain the steps to you. Soon, I believe it'll be January of 2021, the way it's looking now, mid-December of 2020, that I'll finish my book on this topic that goes in depth on these steps, and then after that, during the spring of 2021, I will release a full training on this, but I want to give you kind of the 5,000 foot view and explain some of these elements to you, the steps that you can take, and what you can do to rank on page 1 of Google. Today's video is going to be a little boring, but it's just the overview of the overall process, the moving pieces. As you can see here, there are 3 phases and 9 steps. Each one of these is in this order for a reason. The first time that you go through this process, it's going to take a little longer because you're going to be establishing the accounts that you don't have, setting up the tools that you don't have, and really getting used to the process and doing the research and making the investment in time that you need to. But if you follow the same pattern of success, the same roadmap for SEO success, every single time, you'll get faster and faster. And some of you may want to dig in later and get the book and get the full training if you want to pursue this for a living. It's a great way to make a living just because you can work from anywhere and you can really make a difference in people's lives. The reason that I do it, even though I've had many websites of my own and built little web businesses, is because of the flexibility. And I enjoy the results in seeing results for my customers, but I don't have to do any of the other hard work. I can just focus on the SEO elements, and that's a lot, but I can focus on the SEO, get them results, and I don't have to do other things like deliver products or services directly to customers. So it really offers a lot of freedom for me and a lot of benefit. And that comes up often when you're an SEO professional, you talk to people. Well, if you're so good at marketing, Harry, which is my name, Harry Warwick, why aren't you running your own business? Why do you do marketing for others? Well, that is my business, and I choose to do that because it's easier on the deliverable side. It's something where I can really make a difference, have an impact on businesses and multiple businesses at one time. Right now I have 15 active clients, and it's really nice to be able to get in and help others. Now this video, again, is going to be part of a whole free series that I make available online. And my intent is to give anyone out there who might not have the funds right now access to the information. And if you do have money but you don't have time, you can always reach out and we could see if there's time in my company schedule to help you if we're the right fit. But most importantly, this is for you, the guys that are just starting out, who are where I was 20 years ago online when the whole game was different. You're establishing a website, you want to get traffic to it, you want to make it profitable. How do you do it? It all starts off in this identify phase, and this is the part that is, if any part can be most important, this is really it, because the better that you identify your market, your keywords, the niche that you're in, and then who your ideal customer is, the better all of your other efforts will work. If you don't do the work here, you'll be lucky if you can have a profitable business at all, even if you do all the other 6 steps through the next 2 phases correctly. Because it's kind of like building a foundation for a house. The better the foundation, the better the house will be, the stronger it'll be in storms and tough times and all of those kind of visuals that you want to create for yourself there with that. But It's very true. So this is your foundational work, and you want to do this for every key product or service that you offer. And you should only work through one at a time, because even though your products or services are closely related, and even some of your customer types will be similar, you want to hyper focus in on who your ideal customer is. Out of all the customers that could respond to your offer of what you sell or provide, you want to focus in on the ideal customer. And that's because you want to optimize your results and talk to them in a voice that offers a lot of clarity. The biggest mistake that I see business owners make every day, and I'm guilty of it myself still as well, because I know this information, but sometimes applying it for your own things and your own work is more difficult than applying it for others, because you're too close to your own thing. And sometimes that's the challenge while you want to reach out to someone else to help. But the biggest mistake that I see businesses make is casting too wide of a net. You think to yourself, okay, I offer auto repair in my town as an example. Everybody that drives a car eventually is going to need me, so I'm just going to talk to that larger market. Where if you focus your marketing on one specific problem at a time, for the person whose car won't start today, if you develop a page of your website and you put up a helpful video and you write content, all that helps them start to address and deal with that question, then you capture the traffic for all the things related to that. And it's the same with any product or service that you can think of. You have to think of who your ideal customer is, what their wants and their needs are, or what the problem is that you can solve. And then through all of your efforts in marketing, you want to make sure that you're providing a clear solution and a clear answer to their problems. And that includes the landing pages or web pages that you create to bring in the traffic and to rank in that number 1 position, or at least on page 1 in Google. The better you do these steps, the better you're going to rank, the better your pages are going to convert for your experience with your customers, more sales that you'll get, and the more social authority you're going to get within your space, because people will clearly understand that you know what you're talking about and that you can help them with their problem. So let's talk about the first step in this very first phase of Identify, and that's market research. The market research that we do for websites is fairly simplified in that we look at the keywords related to a product or service that we're offering. And as we start to look at those keywords, we then look at other competitors that are already ranking on page 1 for those keywords and related keywords. And we look at their content to see what we can do that is similar to that but better. How can we improve upon the pages and the websites that are already ranking for a particular term? An example, if we go back to that example of a local auto repair business, if you look up auto repair in your area and a specific thing like my car won't start, or what to do when my car won't start as a search term, and one of your competitors comes up, you want to look at their webpage and analyze what's right, what's wrong, and how you can improve it. Often for questions like that, one of the first things that's going to come up is going to be a YouTube video. So since that's the case, for questions that you can provide a video answer for, either through a screen share like this or with you live on a cell phone camera, whatever works with the content, you want to provide that and provide a clear and helpful answer for your potential customers. After you've done all the market research, you've decided on some keywords, you've looked at some of those competitors' pages, that helps you do the next step, which is defining your niche, where you fit within the marketplace for that particular keyword or keyword phrase. And with keywords, you've got two things. You've got regular keyword, which is just typically 1 or 2 words together. And then you've got a long tail keyword, which is 3 or more words all together in one search phrase, something that someone's typed into Google. So what to do when my car won't start might be a search term, and we could look up and see the search volume for that. And if there was enough search volume for that particular keyword, we might work on that. Let's kind of pause this right now. What I'm going to do is, even though this is just a high level, I want to give you an idea of what you'll see in future videos from me. And this video, be forewarned, it's going to be longer than any of the others that you see. I want to make most of the other videos into bite-sized pieces of content. But right now, I just want to pull up a Chrome window here. I was doing some work on YouTube for a client. But now I just want to go into a tool called Ubersuggest. Now I subscribe to this tool. It's one of about 20 different paid tools that I use for SEO because I run a full-time agency. So I use Moz and many other tools, and you'll see those in future videos. But this is a good introductory tool to use to do some initial keyword research. And you can even use it to some degree for free. It used to be completely free, but over time he's added more features. Neil Patel, the owner of the tool, and with that, they've provided different plans for the particular service. Let's go with what to do. Now that's a pretty long tail keyword. And then here we'll see some other versions. So if we go down, here's one that's getting some search volume, 140 searches a month. What to do if my car won't start. So we'll look at that one instead. It doesn't have a paid price to it. But here's what do I do when my car won't start. That's getting more search volume than some of the other terms. So we'll just kind of copy that. Go back to that previous page and put it in just so we can see the various numbers. That didn't copy for me, so we'll just type it in. And here you can see the average monthly search volume. It's got a very low SEO difficulty, and that's because it's truly a long tail keyword. And even the paid difficulty by this tool as it looks at it is pretty low. But the cost per click is fairly high for such a long tail keyword, $4.04 on average to pay Google to get a click to go through to your website. But since the SEO difficulty is so low, it's definitely something that you could work on for your business. In this case, if you had an auto repair business, to rank for that term. Now, I'm kind of shocked that we're not seeing video results at the very top, but of course those are ad results. And over here on this right side, this is just a little plug-in for Chrome. I'm in Chrome that gives you some keyword relevant data just in that right-hand window and keyword suggestions. So it's a nice tool to install when you're doing research and doing work, to have that there. There's a website that's ranking because they provided kind of like a bullet list and a lot of value. But you can see they're not getting a lot of traffic, as this tool indicates. But then the next thing is what I expected to see, which is the videos, and it's showing the 3 top YouTube videos that are ranking right now for what to do if your car won't start. And then they're going into major websites. Here's Geico providing some helpful information to get your attention. Here's YouTube. Here's Fix.io, Firestone Auto Care, their blog, and so on and so forth. And most people, when they look at this, if they're new to SEO, might think, oh, it's going to be impossible for me to rank against Google or Geico, rank in Google, competing against Geico or YouTube, but it's not impossible. These three people that have YouTube videos are just utilizing YouTube to get their videos to rank and help people and provide that information, but that traffic they can then, monetize and do what they need to do with it. And we probably won't go too far down before we find, here's a business that's ranking right on the first page, and giving some indications on what you can do, and they're trying to answer that question. And of course, this one, the Family Handyman, is providing that information. And because they did it in that very helpful, like bulleted Q&A format with their markup for their page, it's being listed there as a possible list of solutions even before the videos, which is rare, but that's, a great thing for them. But that's just, a quick example of what you would do to look at a keyword, do the basic keyword research for that keyword, look at the traffic, look at other related keywords, and then look at the content so that you can create your own page, make it more informative and helpful. And what you would do is go through and look at the questions that they're answering, make sure that you answer and address those in your own way, and consider what else you could do to provide additional value. Could you make your own video and put it on YouTube and then also embed it in your page or your website? Could you create an infographic that provides something that they could, easily print out and take out to their car with things to try? Many avenues that you could go down that would really help you. But let's kind of go back to the presentation here, because I'll go and do a deep dive on each one of these topics as we go through it. I'll walk you through market research and probably take even a couple videos on that to kind of do a deep dive and explain it. I'll talk you through what I mean by identifying your niche and further cementing your kind of view of your website and your product or services place in the market, and that's a key element. And then both of those elements, market research and your niche research together, combine to help you kind of brainstorm who your ideal customer is. If you're already a going business and you're already serving customers, that makes it easier because you can think back and look through your books and see, okay, what's the customer type that I'm attracting for this product or service? If you're a local barber and you're trying to rank your barbershop, what's the average age of your clients that come in? If you're a hair salon, what's the average age of your customers? What's the demographics? How does it break down? How many are women? How many are men? So that you can focus in on who your ideal customer is, what their wants and the needs are, so that as you start to write the copy for your website, you can address those wants and needs with answers to their questions that they're searching for online, and providing them some very specific help in their own phrasing and terminology that they use on a day-to-day basis. Connect with that audience and assure them that you can provide the solution. An interesting site, just while I'm thinking about it, we'll go back to this page. You can use this for free. It's called Answer the Public. And you can change the area to your area for your target market. In this case, United States was what I'm using. And then we can type in anything that we want in here. let's look up now, what do I do, right? And we're just following through that same thought process there. And it's going to take a minute. It's going to gather the information, and that term that I'm working with there, or that long tail keyword, might not have enough content to pull up a lot of results, but we're getting about 10 coming up, so that's pretty good for a long tail keyword. If you had a keyword that wasn't so long tail or wasn't such a long phrase, you'd get many, many more results. And here you can see other versions of the questions that you could answer, and it goes down into visualizations, other ways to phrase those things. And it's just a good tool to help you think through the different ways that people are searching online, because these are all questions that someone has been typing into Google recently related to that long tail keyword phrase, and then it's broken down alphabetically with that. And you can see the results a little better if you put in a more general term. It'll take a moment or two longer. And here with just general term like auto repair, you get a lot of additional questions that you could build out answers to on a web page that would help you rank for traffic, but also connect with that ideal customer when they're coming to your website. Because if they're coming to your website for an answer or a solution, the more of those that you provide with context on your page, the better your content is and the better your results will be. So this is just a really good free tool that's available. They do have a paid version that gives you more bells and whistles. It's not something that I subscribe to for that, but many people do. And it is a nice tool, whether free or paid, or the paid version, to just get your brain working on some of the different things that you can address in your website and on that particular web page related to the keyword that you're searching for. So that's a great free tool to utilize to do some of that work around the next step, which is the SEO copy, but also to help you identify who that customer is. If you're just lost in the brainstorming of, kind of the age range of the customer that you're going to be targeting with your marketing, and whether they're married or single, what their income range is, sometimes looking at those questions and looking at the answers on other sites will kind of help you flesh that out and think through that process. And the better that you understand who your ideal customer is, their wants, their needs, their goals, their problems, the better that you'll be able to talk to them and communicate with them, showing that you offer the solution, whatever that solution is, the problem or need that they have. The next phase is the local phase, and by local I mean two different types of local. Because there's local SEO, which is of course ranking your business that's in a local marketplace so that you come up in what's called the map pack results. But then there's also local and what I mean by that is your on-page efforts or your on-site efforts. Because with SEO, you do several things. You work on your website itself, and then you work on other sites linking to your website and social media that links to your website. And you work those in tandem together to get the best results. Every time that you share something on a social media site, and someone likes or comments on that, that acts like an upvote for your website. Also, just having an active business with a presence on all the major social media sites lets Google know that you're a valid and currently operating business, because you're reaching out and trying to connect with your customers where they like to spend their free time on social media. But all of the first phase steps in Identify help you start to work on your copy. In here, you're working on a little bit of an outline, but you're also writing down your copy ideas. So you might be pulling those questions in that you think will work for your page from Answer the Public or other sources. You're bringing in the keywords that you want to rank for. If you're trying to rank for a local auto repair term, there's going to be several other keywords that you want to add into a good length of article. You know, at a minimum, most of the time when you're trying to rank something for SEO, you want to have at least 600 words on the page. Most of the content that I write for customers is 1,500 or more, just because the better your content is with that context that we've talked about, the better your results will be over time. And then if we look at the next step, it's actually digging in and creating the content. So you've done all of your homework in the first phase. You've worked on your copy that you want to use on the page, but now you need to actually build out that page and make it functional, make it look right, make it follow through well, answering the questions, make the flow good, add the graphics that you want. Maybe you want to create a custom infographic that answers the questions or highlights your top 5 answers to the top 5 questions, or whatever it is. Often for many clients, I'm also creating a video and putting that on the page to further answer questions. I'm hosting the video on YouTube so that if it's one of those keywords or keyword phrases, long tail keywords, if you will, that videos will rank first for, it'll be there and it'll refer to my website. But it's also on the web page for a very important reason, and that is to increase your time on page for your visitor. Many visitors for a lot of the niches out there for websites are coming to your website on a smartphone or other device. And if you've got a small phone in your hand, even with younger eyes, uncorrected vision, if you still have 20/20, then you probably still don't want to sit down and read 1,500 words on a smartphone. You will if you have to, but you would probably prefer a video that you could view that would kind of spoon feed you some of the key parts of the information. And video works well for that. It's also more engaging than written content. But it does another magical thing related to SEO, and that's increases your on-page time. What you want, probably at a minimum, is when someone clicks into your website and visits your page, you want them to stay on that page at least 2 minutes, and then on your overall website for 4 or more minutes. In each case, the longer the better, because that gives Google the sign that the customer that clicked on the link related to the keyword, when they came to your website, they found what they were looking for, and they found the content helpful and engaging. And when that happens, Google's going to improve your ranking over time. And as we continue to look at the local phase, we need to talk about tools for automation, but then the other side of that, for the local, meaning local to your area, you also need to talk about Google My Business. Your Google My Business listing is a free listing that Google offers for your business to put your business details up on the internet. It can link to a website or other online property, shows your business hours, you can show photos and post information about sales and other things. It allows you to put in your business address and link that to a Google map to make yourself easy to find. But also, when you look up many different types of keywords, the first thing that comes up in the search results for those keywords are local map results, or what's called the map pack. So when you optimize your Google My Business listing, you can get a lot of free traffic for your company related to those keywords with your Google My Business listing and page. when you're in that map pack and that's the first result on the page, as much as 30% of all the traffic from that search query or question go to the Google Map Pack results. So ranking in that section is critical, and it can mean the difference these days to a business from success to failure. Because if you can get a few more thousand visitors to your website and then to your physical location a month, that's a game changer. Even if it's just 100 and you've got a decent markup on the products or services that you provide, that could still make a difference and change how successful your business is. So working on your Google My Business listing is essential and something that you always have to do if you have customers that visit you locally, or that you want to attract people from your local area, even if you have a national website. The other side of this part of the process is for the other side of local, your own website or on-page efforts. And that includes a lot of tools for automation, things like setting up chatbots and using lead magnets to get email capture so that you can start email campaigns later, because you'll grow your own email list to stay in touch with your ideal customers. You can set up automated blogs so that your RSS feed posts to many different social accounts automatically every time that you add a blog to your website. That's a very powerful thing to do and works extremely well. The next thing is the growth phase. And in the growth phase, you take all these previous 6 steps and you kind of put them on steroids. You increase the power of all of your previous efforts now through promotion and growth efforts. And that includes a full social media build out for your website. Sometimes you'll do the basic build out before, back around this automation phase. But even if you haven't, now is the time to do it so that you can start engaging with your ideal customers and talk to them about the content that you've just created through the identify and the local phase. With this, you can start to also use your email list that you started building earlier and send out nurture emails, send out a newsletter, put them into a free course. You can do a lot of things with email and email automation these days that'll make a big difference for your business. In the growth phase, the last step and one of the most important pieces is the promote phase. And often business owners neglect this phase, or they will only do the promote phase and not do the key SEO efforts that they need to do to get the best results for their website and their business. So promote, I put in here, is the last phase, because you should do all of this foundational work throughout this entire roadmap first. Got to do that core research so that when you run advertising, you know who you're advertising to and what they want. You've got to write the copy and create the content that'll be the landing pages that they come to when you run ads and you actively promote things for your website or business. You need to have the social media presence to give them other ways to interact with you if they don't call or come direct to your business or make a purchase online. You want to stay front of mind with your customers. And of course, your promotions might lead to people adding themselves to your email lists or your other marketing lists. So you want to make sure that you've got that established and in place all before you start running any type of advertising or promotions to boost your results. And promotions can be just about anything. It could be just offering a special discount or a coupon or something on your social media channels and on your website. Like a Black Friday deal or a Christmas deal or a New Year's deal or, whatever it is for your business. A lot of restaurants do different things, different days of the week that are naturally slow. They will, Tuesday will be a discount on the entree of the day or a blue plate special or, all those kinds of things that people can do. Thursdays, if Thursdays are slow, You come in for dinner, you get a free dessert. Whatever it is, you want to put those promotions out there. Now, sometimes the promotions are paid advertisements that you're doing on Google or Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, and getting the most out of those paid ads that you run and paid promotions that you do is all based upon this previous work. But as you promote, it's kind of like, the process that you've gone through on the roadmap so far. By that point is all the foundation work, all the key building elements that are there, all the pieces that are there to help you follow up and get the best impact from any paid ads that you do or any discounts that you offer or any other promotions. So when you finally do that, that becomes like a watering system for plants, right? It helps everything grow and scale. And sometimes you just do, when you're just starting, you do free promotions or offer discounts or something to get the clicks and visits and increase your results through your organic or free efforts. And then later, as you grow and scale, when you go through this process and launch a new product or service, you then, use the paid ads more to build your business. So let's say you've been doing this and you're ranking, 100 keywords on page 1 of Google, and you're getting a couple thousand visitors a month, and a good percentage of those are converting because you've done all the right things with your sales copy, and you're following up well in email, you're engaging with people on social, so you're closing a good amount of sales to potential prospects that visit your website. Then you've got the income to go into that promote phase later and promote your business and your products and get the most bang for your buck out of everything that you've already done, all of this work that you've already done. You can do things without the promotion phase, but it works really well. Recently, creating a presentation for a client, I went through and looked at a lot of the data from social media marketing. I've also written a couple of books on the topic, and 80% of respondents say that they are most likely to like a business when they're offering a discount or providing something of value to their customers. People enjoy that and like it. Who doesn't like a great deal? But those have to be genuine discounts. Otherwise, people will stop to follow you and stop following and not really trust engagement with you again and again. Those businesses that seem to thrive on always having a sale, over time they turn people away. And some marketplaces where they've got a lot of turnover with people that live in the area, like a military market or something, let's say for a furniture store, maybe that works over the long term, but for most businesses it doesn't. So it's not about always having a sale, but it is always about providing value. And one of the ways to provide value is to provide high quality information and helpful information. So I know I've talked a long time. You've just been looking at this one screen to get this 5,000-foot view of my process that I use and that you can use to go through the steps to build any business. But I hope you found this video valuable and that you'll come back and watch the additional videos that I create for each part of this process. And they're going to be a lot shorter. This one had to be long to kind of go through all 3 phases and 9 steps with you. But in the future, I'm going to make these little bite-sized pieces of information that you can watch, take some value from, go away and come back and watch another video when you're ready. Or if you just want to sit down and kind of walk through the entire course in a day, you'll be able to do that, because I'm going to try to keep those around 10 minutes or so for each one to make them easier to consume. I may even go shorter than that on some of those. Just because I know these things get boring and you might not hang in here for the whole, 40 minutes of this video. But the purpose of this is to give you the big picture, the overview of the overall process, this roadmap, so that you understand the steps that you need to take logically to rank any business on page 1 of Google. But I hope you find this helpful, and I appreciate your time and interest, and I'll see you in the next video.